You know this man because you've seen him over the years as he has toured El Paso. And as a matter of fact, he'll be back in a couple of weeks at the comic strip. And he's also our resident racing expert. Very excited about the one, the only BT who joins us here on Sports Talk. Welcome back, my friend. Great to see you via Zoom, and we appreciate you joining us on the show today.
I appreciate you hitting me up while I was working out. Usually I don't take those kind of texts. When I saw it was you, I immediately said, hey, I got to talk to this guy. I was in the middle of bench press, and I said, hey, got to talk to the man.
What does a typical BT workout consist of?
Well, I start off, I get up, I make a smoothie, and then I do yoga, and then I do 5 minutes of abs, and then I go to the gym, or if it's good weather, I cycle. I love cycling, man. I cycle I try to get at least 25 miles in, and I've gone as far as 70 miles, but yeah, I like to in between 20 and 70 miles. I love cycling. So if the weather's good, I cycle, but the weather's crappy like it is now, I go to the gym and get it in. So yeah, I went to the gym, so.
What does the BT smoothie consist of?
Well, see, today it's always frozen pretty much, but it's bananas, pineapples, strawberries, and today I had dragon fruit and definitely ginger, because ginger cuts down on the gas, so which is good. So ginger kind of smooths the stomach out and eliminates the gas, so which is good.
I like that. You just give people a little secret with their smoothies. If you want to not worry about being so gassy, just throw some ginger in there, right?
Oh, some ginger is key. I'm telling you, if you can take, it's really strong, but what you do is you put a little agave juice in it, and it kind of evens it out. I watch a lot of Food Network also, so put a lot of agave in it, and I could beat Bobby Flay. I guarantee you, I can. But yeah, that's what you do. And let me tell you something. Ginger is the greatest thing you can take. Helps on the stomach and the gas and everything. So yeah, I think I want to open a smoothie place when it's all said and done with.
You should. That'd be great. And then not only could you open the smoothie place up, but you can make people laugh while they're getting ready to order the smoothie. It'd be the perfect thing for you.
Maybe a little stand-up while they're waiting. How about that?
I love that. I think you'd be the first stand-up smoothie shop in the country. That'd be the way to go.
Stand-up smoothie. Oh, there you go, buddy. There you go.
You've already got the name, so you're set. All right. Busy weekend, right? We got the Formula One Monaco Grand Prix and the Indianapolis 500 happening. So let's talk about that. And before we get to the Indy, because that's in your backyard, and I know that's a race you've attended over the years. How has F1 become so popular as of late?
The reason F1 become popular because of late is because of Netflix's Drive to Survive. That did for F1 what, man, I tell you, I'm honest, what Thelma and Louise did for women who are unhappy in their marriages. I mean, it really did, man. It really elevated the game. I mean, F1's been around forever, and it wasn't like it wasn't there, but people were into it, but they weren't into it. But Netflix had it. They had the quick edits, and they had the slow motion, and they can make it dramatize it and make it look like whoa. And so now they look like rock stars, man. They were the only one on it came at the perfect time. During the pandemic, it was well done. It was made with drama, and the way they set it up was just beautiful. So you had nothing to do but watch this, and it kept you on the edge of your seat. You understand? I watched these races, and I was going, oh, man, what happened here? I mean, seriously. So it made, and think the guys are young, they're good looking, they're millionaires, and that plays into it. Man, think about it. If you're a women are, no offense, but women are really aren't racing. And so, but they see these guys good looking, and they're racing cars, and hey, money talks. And so they're like, who are these guys? And they are the new rock stars, man. I mean, stereotypically, you always look at NASCAR stereotypically as like, the good old boys, Southern guys, whatever. And it's evolved, it's changed, but that's the stereotype that goes on with it. But F1, they're flying in. They got helicopters. They're good looking. They're flashy. They're driving Ferraris. They're driving McLarens. And so it makes you go, what is this about? And it's got that wow factor to it.
So F1, in your opinion, is probably the future of auto racing in terms of just the worldwide scope. Well, it's already big worldwide, but here in the U.S., it's really the future of auto racing, right?
I really think so. I think in America, because they just had the race in Miami and on the grid, and that's one of the few things that racing has over all the other sports is before it gets down to the time, you have celebrities walking on the grid talking to the drivers. You don't have that in the Super Bowl. You don't have that in basketball. No other sport has it where right before it starts, You have people on the grid. It's like a party on the grid. I mean, you have movie stars. You got other stars from other sports. They're talking to the guys who are going to risk their lives. Then about 5 minutes, they're just shooting the crap with them. And then it's like, then that sound goes like, boop, and it's like, you got to go. And everybody clears out. And it's time to get down to business. And that's where racing, period, has over every other sport. You can walk on the grid if you got the right money and have the right connections. You can walk on the grid and touch these $1 million cars. And I mean, that's what it has over every sport, man. So yeah, it's got the wow factor. It's got the stars, and they're in glamorous places. Miami, they're going to be in Las Vegas next year. It's going to be a night race in Las Vegas. Dude, I'm telling you, F1 is the future of racing in America.
Now, you've been to motocross events in Europe. You've traveled for those. There you go, Moto GP. I see that right now. So you are the Moto GP spokesman. We're talking to a comedian, BT, who'll be in El Paso in a couple of weeks, giving us our racing intake here on Sports Talk. Have you ever been to an F1 race in person?
No, man, put it this way. F1 does kind of like, they're like the gated community of racing, meaning like, oh, poor people. I mean, it's like, I mean, seriously, I met an F1 girl at a Moto GP event, and I was just joking. I go, hey, can you give me the hookup? Just joking, right? And she literally went like, she stopped talking to me and walked away. And I was like, hey, I was just joking. I mean, F1 has an attitude. They really do. They're nice, but they, I mean, like, they're worldwide. It's like soccer and F1 is worldwide, where the United States are just getting it. But that's a tough ticket. So I don't have it yet, but I'm working on it.
All right. I'm hearing that one of the big stories is that Mercedes is doing really, really well in the F1, and Ferrari is trying to bounce back. It's so interesting. You know, you would think this is all about the drivers, but actually it's about the make of the car more than the drivers sometimes, because that's the story. Mercedes was big in Spain. Can Ferrari bounce back in Monaco? It's interesting to see how in Formula One racing, that's the storyline, as opposed to the drivers that normally make the headlines in every other big race.
Well, in Monaco, it's more the driver. I mean, don't get me wrong, the car has to be there. And Mercedes' car here lately has been terrible. At least for Lewis, it has. Russell's been kicking butt, but Lewis is struggling. But Monaco, if he's going to do anything, it's going to be in Monaco, because it's more of a driver course, because it's so narrow. It's if you don't get pole in Monaco, you're done. If you're off the first row, basically, you're done. So, I mean, as a practice today, Lewis was 12th. I think Russell was 5th. So it's going to be a tough go for both of them. But yeah, I mean, if you have a good car, yeah, that'll get you over the hump. But it's kind of to me, it's car and driver. If you have a great car, that's great. But you got to have a driver that can put it there.
Is Charles Leclerc that guy from Ferrari that really is going to be kind of your favorite to try to win this weekend?
That is Leclerc, not Leclerc.
Leclerc. All right.
Leclerc, like in
Leclerc. Like an eclair, it's a Leclerc. Okay, thank you for the correction on that one, BT. And that's why I've got you on here, because there's a pitcher for the Rangers whose last name is Leclerc, pronounced Leclerc. So here in baseball, it's Leclerc. In F1 racing, it's Leclerc.
Leclerc. It's Leclerc. So yeah, Leclerc. But this way, he drove Niki Lauda's old Ferrari, and he wrecked it last week. So, and last year he had car trouble before he even got on the grid. So man, fingers crossed. But I think he can do it. But man, it's racing, and that's what makes racing so great. You just never know. So, but if he gets pole, and he lives there also, I'm pretty sure he lives there also. So I got him for the favorite. I got him for the favorite to win it. Yeah.
All right. BT, as we continue here on Sports Talk, tell me about the Indy 500 as well, and what you're expecting as far as that race. Is the weather supposed to improve in Indianapolis this weekend?
Man, this weather right now is like a woman mood ring. It's like, man, I don't know what's happening, but right now it is in the garbage. I mean, like, it rained, and all of a sudden the sun was just shining just now, and then it went back in the cloud. It's kind of like on perfect storm. Like, it ain't gonna let us out. It ain't gonna let us out. So I think Sunday is gonna be good, but all you need to know with these two words, Ganassi Racing. Chip Ganassi has 4 out of the 5 cars on the first 2 rows, man. This guy, honestly, if they are the New England Patriots of the IndyCar racing, then Scott Dixon, who just got his 5th pole position, he's 1 short of Rick Mears' record of 6. Scott Dixon, man, is the most underrated driver in maybe IndyCar history. I'm talking underrated, even though he's a 5-time world champion. He's underrated, but for some reason, I don't know why, starting next to him on the row, I have Alex Palau from Spain, who's also I'm pretty sure a Ganassi racer. For some reason, I think he's going to be the winner. I don't know why, but I think he's going to beat Dixon this week.
Interesting. All right. And then I'm wondering also, I guess, OWard is another one. He just signed a contract extension with McLaren through 2025. That broke earlier this morning. Do you put him in the possible contention for the race?
You must have been reading my mind. I got Patty OWard. I think it's funny. He's got a Mexican-Irish name, Patty OWard. It's Patty OWard. He come from Mexico, the part of Mexico they don't talk about. But yeah, I got him. For some reason, I like this kid, so I got him somewhere in the top 5. He could be a winner. He could be an outside threat. But I like Scott Dixon, but for some reason I got to go with Alex Palau. And also, I like the former F1 guys. I like Ericsson, and I definitely like the one that burned up at Gajot. But what's his name? There's a guy from F1. He burned up, and he's over here. Roman Grosjean. Yeah. So I got Grosjean. I like him. I don't know if he can pull it off, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Put it this way.
Interesting. And by the way, you said Formula F1 racers go into Indy. Is it considered an easier tour for them in terms of the cars themselves, what they're used to for F1 racing?
You know, it's funny you say that. I was talking to the F1 driver a couple years ago when I was in Spain, not the name drop. And we were talking, and I go, what's the difference? He goes, the big difference basically is the G-forces. When you hit those turns, and I mean, in F1, he goes, you have to get your neck really strong for what you go through with the G-forces. And you don't really appreciate it until you're down on that level. And if you see Martin Brundle, when he's reporting from trackside, and hit those turns, then you go, oh, that's what that's about. And that's what he said. It's more of the G-forces. But it's funny you said it because Fernando Alonso, who I think is probably the greatest just natural driver, he came to Indy a couple of years ago, and as a rookie, he almost won it. Granted, he's won in everything. He's an F1 champion, and he's a classic. And he almost won it. He had a kind of a crappy car, and it crapped on him. But I think he was going to win it. So he would have put those guys to shame. So from F1 to Indy, I think the perception is Indy is, definitely a grade below. But those guys can still race, man.
How do you describe what it's like as somebody that's attended the Indianapolis 500 multiple times at Indy Motor Speedway? What is the experience like as a spectator?
If you've never been, and even if you're like an outside, like, I don't know if I want to go, you got to go because it's an experience, man. I mean, over 300,000 people in one place. I'm talking from infield to the stands. Everybody's cool. They got their own coolers. They're drinking, but they're not obnoxious. It's a Super Bowl of motorsports. Like I said, everybody's cool. And let me tell you something, even if you're not an IndyCar fan or a racing fan, you just soak in that environment, man. I mean, from the moment those cars, when they start up, you're like, whoa. And they come around and do a little wave lap. And once they start, when that pace car goes in and they come around and go, and they start racing, dude, let me tell you, man, you will utter every obscenity that you've ever seen in your life that first lap, I promise you. It is nothing short of motor-gasmic.
Love it. Comic legend BT coming to El Paso in a couple of weeks. He'll be at the comic strip. Looking forward to that. Enjoy the weekend of racing. I know you're a huge fan of that. And we appreciate you coming on and joining us on the show today, BT. Thank you.
Thank you, man. I love it. Talking racing, I'm the only dork. I don't have anybody to talk to. So anybody that's a dork like me can talk racing. I can be here all day. So, man, thank you for having me, brother.